Gen Alpha kid dressed up in revealing clothing, making thirst traps.
Gen Alpha kid thirst traps is just ruining my brain right now. Like, there's no way this is actually real. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Left Hand. Now, before we start this video, I need you guys to tell me, what generation are you? Generation Z, Generation Alpha? Because today we're watching a video on how the internet destroyed Generation Alpha. But let's be honest, comment down below if you think you're brain rot. I'm a little brain rot, I can't even lie, but it's mostly because of you guys, so I blame you. But I think it's okay to be a little brain rot as long as you're still in the books, as long as you're still trying in school and stuff. You can have fun with the stupid brain rot. But if your whole world is consumed with brain rot, then we have a problem, my boy. Then you have to be sent to the adoption center. Got Visual Venture once again.
What are all those touch screens doing all those growing little brains?
All she wants for the holidays is, well, not toys, but skincare products.
All I wanted this year was skincare and makeup.
11-year-old
skincare and makeup. 11 years old? Okay, I guess they're kind of a teenage years, but 11 years old, I feel like that's too young for like makeup and stuff.
Is obsessed with beauty products.
8th grade kid could not spell a single word correctly on his list.
What the heck? Patistler, sickle, usi plitch, rekinis. Like, what is you spelling, my boy? Yeah, these kids are cooked, bro.
Hey.
I ain't gonna lie.
Generation Alpha, the supposed future leaders and current generation of our society. But with the way they're growing up, will they actually be the future generation to make an impact? Or is Gen Alpha as doomed as people say it is? Who are Generation
What do you guys think? What is your opinion? Is Generation Alpha doomed? Yes or no?
Alpha. Gen Alpha, or people born between 2010 and 2025, is said to become
you guys are goofy goobers, bro.
The most populated generation.
I was born in 1919.
In history, with over 2.8 million kids born every week. They follow Gen Z and are the children
2.8 million kids born per week? Y'all need to stop bussing.
Of the millennial generation. Although Gen Alpha is populating a large amount of society, why do other generations think there's no hope for this generation? With countless cases of kids acting out in public, lashing out, and behaving erratically, many believe that Gen Alpha is already ruined. You see,
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like every generation has their bad apples, but I feel like the thing with this generation is just the technology and how easily accessible it is. I feel like back then, if the internet was as accessible as it was today back then, I feel like the brain rot would kind of be the same.
Babies and toddlers often throwing temper tantrums the second their smart devices are taken away. And teachers are begging parents to do something because their kids barely scrape by in school. Time and time again.
Yeah, my salute goes out to the teachers, bro. I can't imagine being a teacher and dealing with these damn skibbity toilet kids.
Hear about just how doomed Gen Alpha is. But where are these horror stories coming from? And what makes Gen Alpha so different from all the generations before them? The short answer, the internet.
Yeah.
The rise of iPad kids. When you think of a kid in today's day and age, how do you picture them? Most of you probably had an image of a kid with an iPad in their hands, right? That's because Gen Alpha is not only—
Not me though, bro. I had sticks and stones, you know what I'm saying? I was with the cavemen and shit. I was hunting animals, bro. I was hunting with the lions, bro. I was one of the lions, for real. Like, they couldn't stop me back then, you feel me?
The youngest generation, but also the most technologically dependent one. Generation Alpha was raised by screens, whether by TV, a computer, or the infamous iPad. With almost 80% of kids owning an iPad or another version of a tablet, you can't deny—
That's why I feel like kids shouldn't be having any type of technology until like at least maybe 5 or 6. I know like it's okay for them to have it sometimes, but then when they get addicted and you just like let them have it all the damn time, like of course they're gonna start acting out when you take it away.
The nickname that many call this generation, iPad kids.
This is what happens when mom and dad take away an iPad from 2-year-old Ashlyn Brooks.
Oh yeah, she's cooked. Yeah, put that pacifier in your mouth and we're gonna pack up your stuff and we're going straight to the adoption.
Since their creation, iPads have been used as a tool for parents who are simply too busy with work. Technology has proven to be a
I get this point though, because I know that some parents don't have the luxury like of working from home or something, so they definitely need like help kind of keeping the kids entertained and stuff, but there's always room for improvement, always room for effort, at least like teaching them to spend their time with just toys or reading books or like just something different, alternative.
Hassle-free way of keeping kids occupied, whether at public places, social events, or just during the day-to-day. With iPads being an evolved version of parenting in the 20th century, screens are simply considered the new nanny. And although parents may benefit from relaxing after work, iPads could be doing more harm than good. It's gotten to a
I
point
feel like if you're gonna give a kid an iPad and stuff, they should have a target limited thing and only limited things to do on the iPad as well.
Where Gen Alpha is entirely reliant on their devices, growing a digital addiction that they cannot seem to stop. In 2012, a 3-year-old boy was kicked
Because for them to get addicted, that means they're using it a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you just give them it for a little bit, then they know it's gonna get taken away. I feel like it's better that way.
Off an Alaskan Airlines flight from Seattle because of the extreme temper tantrum he threw after getting his iPad taken away. The kid had been playing with a tablet before takeoff, but when planes ascend, all devices were asked to be turned off, and this one iPad was no exception. But when flight attendants tried to get the kid to turn his tablet off, he started to wreak havoc. The child began a raging outburst, hitting his head against the roof of the plane and
adoption. Hell nah, boy. Imagine, oh, I dare a kid to do this to me, bro. Hell nah.
Desperately begged
your ass finna get thrown out the plane. I was playing. Or am I?
For his tablet back. His family tried to calm him down and buckle him in so that they could take off, but no one was able to control
if they throwing tantrums that much, that means their parents is not disciplining them at all, bro.
Things got so bad that the pilot had to turn the entire plane around on the runway. The boy and his entire family was escorted off the flight, causing them
Bro, he was so brain rot and so bad they had to turn around the air. Oh my God. Are the parents not embarrassed? Are they not ashamed of themselves?
To miss their vacation to St. Martin Island. And this was over 10 years ago at the start of the iPad Kids generation. Since then, Gen Alpha has grown more attached to their devices. Social media has become a part of their day-to-day routines for better or for worse, and it's caused kids to become addicted to the internet. And the stay-at-home crisis that happened in 2020 only made things worse. Kids were locked indoors and were unable to get any sort of social interaction from other peers or teachers. Gen Alpha.
Yeah, I feel like 2020 really messed things up, bro. Like brain rot wise, and for those kids, like I actually feel really bad for kids that were born like in 2020 when the pandemic started. That had to suck, bro.
Was treating technology like a full-time job.
They literally couldn't go outside, bro. They couldn't touch grass.
Devoting 40 hours a week to using it. With social media being accessible to anyone, internet usage was at an all-time high. They couldn't go out to play because of restrictions, so the only way they could get any form of contact with the outside world was through their devices. Gen Alpha was going through critical development phases during this
I feel like we were all going through critical development phases, bro. I feel like I was going crazy.
Stay-at-home crisis. The online world became their new reality because it was all they knew. And considering the sort of horrible stuff that we have access to online, this is concerning. Technology usage on its own isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the content that's being consumed that's the real perpetrator. Parents may think that they know what their kids are watching online, but sometimes things aren't what they seem.
That's facts. Remember when I checked YouTube Kids, bro? YouTube Kids wasn't that safe. As a matter of fact, part 2 video coming very soon on that. But even the things that say kids, it's not even for kids, bro.
In videos supposedly made for kids. Internet brain rot. You might have heard of the term brain rot. Popularized by social media, brain rot is the term that internet users have created to describe those lacking proper socialization and are obsessed with digital content to an
So basically all you guys watching this. No, just
unhealthy level.
Oh God, bro, Gen Alpha content's some of the most incoherent brain dead I've ever seen in my life, okay? Like I can physically feel my brain cells frying every second I spend watching them.
Level 100 Gaiat, Ice Spice Riz W, Riz Guy.
Oh, that's W Riz, bro. What you mean?
You've Gaiat to be rizzing me in Ohio at 3 a.m.
When you think about brain rot, Gen Alpha
that guy's getting all the hoods, bro. He knows every single turn.
Tends to be the usual demographic that comes to mind. That's because the internet has been their primary means of interaction with the world since they were born. Brain rot content can also be identified by the constant usage of internet slang, overly bright colors, and attention-grabbing content that switches every few seconds. A key example is popular kids media like Skibbity Toilet that seem to capitalize on Gen Alpha's decreasing
I will say though, Skibbity Toilet didn't come off as brain rot at first. I thought it was actually genuinely some good art, even though it was super random, but then I feel like it got turned into brain rot with all like the extra animations and other stuff that started happening.
Attention span by overwhelming them with hyper-stimulating
What do you guys think about that?
Skibbity Toilet is a web series on YouTube that features a variety of models from games like Gary's Mod.
But because of the fact that there was no really talking, which automatically means there's no cursing or whatever, it was so accessible and so viral that obviously a whole bunch of kids are gonna pick up on it.
And Counter-Strike as they battle in a raging war. The two sides are singing human-headed toilets, which are called skibbity toilets, and humanoids who have human bodies but items as their heads, like cameras or TVs. The series was created by a man named Alexei.
I have an item on my head. Cut that out of the video.
Gerasimov. It first premiered on YouTube in February of 2023. Since the first episode was released, the channel had gained over 40.6 million subscribers and has over 15 billion views to date. Each episode,
yeah, whoever is created behind this channel, he getting paid.
Episode features the skibbity toilets and other characters engaged in full-on conflicts, animated in the most obscure and dramatic.
Wasn't this made in Gary's mod too?
Ways. There's never a dull moment in the videos, which to Gen Alpha is the exciting part. On the surface level, this might just seem like out-of-the-box wacky content for kids, but the harsh reality of it is that skibbity toilet could be damaging to children. With the constant overstimulating content, kids get used to hyperactivity, making everything else feel
But you could also say the same about like Cocomelon and stuff, which is actually directly thrown towards kids and promoted to kids. Whereas on YouTube, obviously they choose what to watch.
This can cause irritability, a low attention span, and a lack of patience since kids are now so used to hyperstimulation. Parents have long since been concerned with whether or not skibbity toilet is appropriate for their kids to watch. And it even got to a point where Russian authorities had to get involved to investigate the show. A Moscow man concerned over—
They really investigated a stupid YouTube series, bro? Like
skibbity toilet's detrimental effects on children asked the police to block the videos from the internet to prevent kids from watching it. This investigation has gotten mixed opinions so far, with some claiming that getting the—
How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about like countries literally banning certain things? You know how like in China they can't watch YouTube, or I think, I don't know if that's a rumor or not, but like they literally will ban websites and stuff. How do you guys think? You think that's fair or not?
Police involved over a kids series is ridiculous. Other parents also echoed the same concerns, believing that skibbity toilet may be doing more harm than good. While there's still no conclusive answer as to whether or not the series is negatively affecting children, this form of hyper-stimulating media has become a growing trend for Gen Alpha. Parents are becoming increasingly worried.
I feel like it gets really bad if they continuously watch it, like over and over again, every single day. I feel like it's not do a great deal of damage if they're only watching it once in a while. But yeah, if they watch a skibbity toilet every day and day, eyes glued to the motherfucking tablet like this, yeah, they cook.
Their kids are becoming like zombies because of this kind of content. Another popular kids show is Cocomelon.
What did we just say? Cocomelon. I just said that.
Which is usually targeted toward babies and younger children. Yeah. Cocomelon has become—
Nah, this show is actually fucking brain rot. Like I don't understand it at all. I feel like baby shows should be aimed to like education. Like I know they're doing this all for profit, so they don't really give a fuck about, you know, education of babies and stuff. But like if it was up to me, like everything's gonna be educational, bro. They're not just gonna watch shit just to watch it.
Most famous kid shows and has been a go-to entertainment source for parents to show their kids. But in recent months, the once favorable reputation of Cocomelon has completely shifted, because now parents are starting to discover a correlation between their kids' behavioral issues and the show. On December 26th—
No, that's fact. Behavioral issues, not talking about that. I do notice that there's kids that'll literally watch YouTube videos and stuff, and you know how in YouTube they start acting out and they, you know, say things and get mad or whatever, and they learn tendencies from that. And it's not even like from home. They literally learn it from the fucking YouTube videos, bro. If they start copying that shit in the house, bro, you finna get your ass smacked and sent to the adoption center.
2021, TikTok user It's Mama Bell posted a video that raised some serious concerns about Cocomelon. The text on the video said that she had just switched from showing her kids Cocomelon to a YouTuber called Miss Rachel, and that prior to switching, her children would just sit in front of the TV like zombies. In the comments, countless moms agreed with her, saying that—
Yeah, I remember I watched a video on Cocomelon, and it's like every single frame is something crazy and like popping out. It's worse than a Mr. Beast video.
Miss Rachel, who is a YouTuber who focuses on educational content, was much more beneficial for their kids. More and more parents realized that their kids were becoming—
I love Mr. Beast videos, by the way. I'm just saying, like the actual attention span thing. Like there's never a dual moment. As a matter of fact, there's never a dual second in Cocomelon, bro. At least in Mr. Beast video, there's like pauses or there's, you know, some type of epilogue, but Cocomelon's like literally shooting AK-47 at your brain, boy.
Addicted to Cocomelon to the point where they wouldn't be able to move away from the screen, and they weren't learning anything from the show either. The show focused solely on keeping the children's attention with bright colors, repetitive songs, and fast jump cuts, all of which are tactics that the show uses to keep kids hooked.
Let's see how many seconds it takes for each one of these scenes to change.
Yeah, I think I remember this TikTok.
2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
like
1,
literally every 2 seconds,
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1.
This epidemic of overstimulation can be compared to the feeling that you get from substances, hence why Cocomelon is so addictive to children. And it's not just random
That's
TikTokers.
true, bro. Like, a lot of people forget that not only drugs can cause like addictions, literally the internet, your phone, stuff that you watch, like a lot of things can become addictive, not just drugs.
That have said this. Actual childhood experts have chimed in, agreeing that Cocomelon is too overstimulating for kids, which can lead to addiction. Cocomelon watchers are usually between ages 2 and 5, which are critical years when it comes to early childhood development. This is the time when kids are developing language, creativity, and social skills.
That's what I'm saying. This is the time they're supposed to develop learning skills and develop their brain, and you're gonna have to watch fucking Cocomelon. Like, I just don't get why parents would do that.
And shows like Cocomelon have possibly only made these tasks more difficult. And not to mention the disturbing influx of Elsagate content that's taken over all of the kid-friendly platforms. And I have a whole separate video of that you can watch. All of this inappropriate
content. Wait, technically, when we went on YouTube Kids for that one video, is that considered Elsagate?
That not only has caused concern for Gen Alpha parents, but also for teachers as well. Because not only are kids becoming more addicted to screens, but they're also doing much worse in school. The dumber generation.
That's crazy.
It's a common theme in social media for people to say that Gen Alpha is considered one of the dumber generations. The more kids become addicted to their screens, the harder it is for them to live a life.
See, this is tough because I feel like, I feel like the internet kind of ruins a lot of more kids' brains and stuff. But at the same time, because of technology and how advanced it is, I feel like that also creates like really, really smart kids and stuff. So I feel like it could go like way this way and way this way. Like they could be super dumb, or they could actually use it to their advantage and be super smart, like way smarter than people in the past and stuff. So
away from it. That includes during school hours. It's as if kids are having a harder time paying attention, likely because the internet may be conditioning their brains to shorter content.
Yeah, that's the one thing I can agree with. Attention spans are definitely super low, and it's because of the internet, bro.
Hence a shorter attention span. Teachers around the world have been going viral on TikTok after sharing just how concerned they are about the educational development of their Gen Alpha students. They have said that students are now reading and writing at several grade levels behind, with a large majority of kids being unable to understand basic literacy, spelling, and grammar.
Did 8th grade...
Chat, be honest. Comment right now if you guys have trouble in school. And also comment the reason you think you're having trouble in school.
Kid could not spell a single word correctly on this list.
God damn.
Grade.
TikTok user QBski is an elementary school teacher from Atlanta, Georgia, who took to TikTok to express his concern for the students in his class. He said that although he teaches a 7th grade class, many of his students are nowhere near that level of education.
I teach 7th grade, they are still performing on the 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they
I ain't gonna lie, I appreciate him speaking out about it, but I'm just trying to think from a parent's perspective. Like, how do you feel about a teacher going on TikTok and kind of like, they're basically talking about y'all kids? Like, hey, I'm not trying to instigate. I'm just saying, brother, hey, he basically calling y'all niggas dumb.
Just keep moving, passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're gonna move that child to the 8th grade next year.
This teacher even stated that some of the students in his class perform at kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade levels, even though they're just 2 years away from entering high school.
No, there's no way they're doing that bad, bro.
And he's not the only teacher that feels this way.
And I teach at one of the more affluent schools. When I tell you that these babies cannot read, they cannot write, and they cannot comprehend, I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious.
When it comes to
part of me appreciates them speaking out about it, but then another part is like, damn, is there not a better approach than going on the internet about it and like kind of putting them on blast?
School kids, it's not much better, because the creator, Cool Nace, aka N, said that her 10th and 11th grade English students were only capable of performing at a 6th or 7th grade reading level despite being in their upper years of high school. And other sources continue to claim that
10th grade only doing 5th, 6th grade, that's literally like that's half your life just done, thrown away. Like, what the hell are you doing in 5th grade? Like, just not learning nothing? Were you doing kindergarten at 5th grade? That's the type of pace they were going at.
Alpha kids don't only have poor learning skills, they have poor behavior too. Young students misbehaving in the classroom has become the new norm, and when teachers like N try to discipline them properly, it doesn't work out.
My principal told me you can't do that in Georgia. They have completely taken discipline out of education at this point, especially in Georgia. You cannot use the grade book to implement any kind of discipline or any kind of enforcement with students. And that is going to be...
What does she mean by discipline though? Like, because obviously we're not putting our hands on any children. Like, what does she mean? Like verbal discipline, making them go to detention, timeout? Like, what are we talking about?
The ruin of our kids.
But it's not just attention disorders that are at fault here. The internet has also given Gen Alpha a golden ticket when it comes to cheating their way through school. ChatGPT.
Nah, I feel like this is really bad because when I was in school, well, actually, it was back in the day, so let me not. But just say theoretically, I was in school not too long ago, right? Theoretically. Like, this stuff started barely coming out. So I ain't gonna lie, I probably used a couple, you know what I'm saying, when I was trying to find a math equation that was super hard. But now it's like so advanced and it's literally locked into everybody's phones now. It's like, yeah, I can definitely see everybody cheating now.
AI tools like ChatGPT can easily help kids finish their homework in seconds. The shift has reduced the emphasis on work ethic along with valuable life skills like critical thinking and communication. Without these skills, Gen Alpha has become prone to all sorts of influences because since they are so conditioned.
Okay, this is crazy, bro. Is he scrolling on shorts and playing Minecraft at the same time?
Because since they are
like, how much more brain rot can you do? Like, you can't get more brain rot than this.
So conditioned to only look at the surface level, they take most of what they see on social media as the truth without researching for themselves and questioning it. Everything they see online is immediately taken as a fact, which is detrimental to these young, impressionable kids. And companies are taking advantage of this. They're targeting a demographic that they shouldn't be. Kids. The gullible generation.
Yeah, companies don't give a shit too. They just care about money because they know the parents gonna buy it.
Anywhere you go on the internet, you are destined to run into an advertisement, whether on the TikTok shop or just casually scrolling.
Or you scroll on Polybuzz and see some sus anime girl trying to talk to you and get you to come over her house.
Social media marketing has evolved from billboards and newspapers to scrolling on your phone. Adults are able to understand what an organic piece of content is versus a paid promotion, but young kids are less perceptive of this. They use viral trends as guidelines for what they should or should not like, even if it's not meant for them.
As kids consume more online
drunk elephant finding out what happens when you start marketing the kids.
Content, including advertising.
What the hell is drunk up elephant?
They're being influenced to buy products that are just not made for them.
We see this happening all the time with Gen Alpha, especially due to the rising influence of TikTok. But they aren't alone. Millennials and older generations drive.
Yo, are these little kids making morning routine? Nigga, if y'all don't fucking play Roblox and goddamn go to school, what you doing on TikTok?
Forward these trends and make them mainstream on social media, one product being the infamous Stanley Cup.
Drawing screams of excitement.
What the hell?
And tears of joy. This year's hottest status symbol and most coveted holiday gift.
These niggas crying over a cup, bro? Are you serious? Not even an Xbox or a PlayStation? I mean, I guess it's cheaper, so it's easier for the parents, but still, like, a Stanley Cup, all because it's a trend?
Is the Stanley Tumbler.
This Tumbler Cup has become the reason for multiple news headlines and heavy in-person lines as early as 4 a.m. And because
hell no. I'm sorry, I love you, kid, but there ain't no way I'm standing on fucking line for a damn Stanley Cup. Hell no, but I'll stand in line for the adoption center.
It's so popular, people are willing to go to the ends of the earth to get one.
That's
Although
crazy.
This is the new craze, if you want to get your hands on one, it won't be cheap. The Stanley Tumbler will run you back around $45 USD with limited edition cups costing even.
That's pretty much like the Hydro Flask though. It's not too bad.
More than that. This cost is pretty hefty for a water bottle, and it's definitely not one that everyone can afford. But there are consequences if you can't pay for one.
Ohio mom Dana Motika went viral on TikTok, posting how her 9-year-old daughter was bullied for bringing a less expensive look-alike to school.
Dana had bought her
my god, this is so stupid. Like, bro, why do kids bully other kids for not having shit? Like they have jobs, bro. Like they work for their shit. Like what?
A $10.
That comes from the parents though. Like that bullyish behavior.
Stanley look-alike from Walmart as a gift for Christmas. Her daughter brought the cup to school after Christmas break, only to come home upset because kids in school were bullying her. The sole reason because her Stanley Cup was fake. Over the break, multiple girls in her grade had gotten real Stanley Cups as presents, and they were quick to call out Dana's daughter for her.
Nigga, fuck your Stanley Cups. Nigga, I'm Stanley. I'm the big man. I'll talk about some cups. Hate these damn kids, boy.
Dude, they said that hers was not as cool and made fun of her because of it.
Your mom and your daddy not as cool. You know what is cool though? I found a great adoption center across the street for you.
To us, it might seem wild that a young girl is being bullied over not having an expensive water bottle, but for Gen Alpha, this is their new reality. Gen Alpha has become possibly one of the most materialistic generations ever. With so much advertising being shown at their young eyes, these kids...
Nah, this shit is actually bad though, because kids acting like, oh, if another kid doesn't have what I have, like they're so less than me and shit. That's so stupid, bro. I hate that. Especially like being like a kid that grew up and not having, you know, a lot of things and stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't have to go through too much bullying or whatever, but I definitely, you know, came across people that just say stupid things, trying to be smart and making you feel bad kind of about your situation and stuff. Like, just know from my message, bro, don't ever feel bad about where you are in life, bro. Especially if you're freaking in school still. Like, dude, you're literally not even in a quarter of life yet, bro. Fuck what everybody says, bro.
Everything they see or face the fear of not fitting in. And it's not just Stanley Cups that have proven this. Earlier this year, the beauty retailer Sephora made headlines after multiple story times about Sephora 10-year-olds went viral on TikTok.
Viral clips have been going around of kids going in Sephora making
Dude, isn't this like a makeup thing? Like, why are little kids going there?
Big mess.
During this trend, dozens of people flooded the TikTok For You page with their own personal horror stories with Generation Alpha shoppers at the makeup store. They complained that the kids were rude and had no respect for anyone or anything in the store.
I'm in Sephora
right hell no. So they're going in the store causing a ruckus too?
I see 1, 2,
10-year-old.
Currently walking past a 10-year-old getting her eyebrows done. 4, 5,
what?
6. There's a whole group of them over here.
Kids as young...
Bro, did they all take the bus and come to the mall? Like, what's going on, bro?
As 4 were shopping in the aisles of Sephora for expensive beauty products that they clearly did not need. And the reason behind it? The internet.
Stupid. All she wants for the holidays is, well, not toys, but skincare products.
All I wanted this year was skincare and makeup.
Social media has become Gen Alpha's...
Like, I guess I'd rather this than soaking your brain in brain rot, but still, it's like, bro, kids want to grow up so damn fast, bro. If y'all don't play Roblox...
Go-to guide for how to live their life. Whatever they see influencers do, they want to do. Whatever they see influencers buy, they want to buy. With every beauty...
How about we focus on growing some teeth first? I'll just play. Or am I?
Influencer on platforms like TikTok and Instagram becoming obsessed with skincare, it was only natural for Gen Alpha kids to follow in their footsteps. But this can be a red flag, especially for parents, as social media sets a bad example for young girls. The Sephora Kids trend is a prime example. These young girls do not need to be spending hundreds of dollars on beauty products that
hundreds of dollars too, bro, and the parents are just doing this? Hell, I'll spend $100 to send you to the adoption center.
Targeted at adults. These products have chemicals and ingredients that can be harmful to kids, especially the ones that have gone viral online. Drunk Elephant is the name on every Gen Alpha's tongue. Originally a skincare brand meant for millennials, now a larger portion of Drunk Elephant's consumer base consists of beauty-obsessed kids. With
How is a company called Drunk Elephant a thing for kids? That already just sounds like one of those like weed companies or something, bro.
It's priced from $20 to upwards of over $100. This is definitely
$100 for this little ass shit. Yeah, if a kid asked me for this, adoption center.
At a brand that most kids can afford to buy, at least without the help of their parents. But is this really something that parents want to be getting for their kids? Many of these Drunk Elephant products contain ingredients like peptides, acids, and retinol.
Like, mommy, can we go get some Drunk Elephant? Nigga, what you say? You say you want to go to the adoption center?
Which can all be damaging to youthful skin. Retinol is a form of vitamin A that's known for its anti-aging effects, with higher concentrations being used to fight wrinkles. These kinds of high concentrations are regularly found in beauty products and are definitely not meant for young girls. But it's not only physical health concerns the parents are having.
I feel like that's too much chemicals for their face and stuff, right?
About this growing obsession with skincare and makeup. It's also the mental effects too.
Social media is doing this, and you know,
and then on top of that, some people actually have skin issues and stuff, so they just put in random shit just because it's a trend, and then they start breaking out and have to go to the hospital. Now what? All because of TikTok, right? Like, all because you want to be cool.
Be setting up a lot of young girls with issues that'll follow them well into adulthood.
Young girls are constantly being overwhelmed with societal beauty standards and ever-changing trends in fashion and beauty. And for Gen Alpha, this pressure has only increased with the influx of social media influencers. They look up to influencers more than they do their own parents. But is this influence positive or negative?
That's bad. I feel like if they start looking up to influencers and like listening to them more than their parents, bro, you're cooked, bro. All right, go live at their house then. Like, get the fuck. I'm sure they have YouTube at the adoption center.
Alpha is social media obsessed. It's said that by the age of 1, the average Gen Alpha kid already has over 100 pictures of them posted on social media.
Nigga, what? What? Is that a real stat? Wait. This is one thing I don't really agree with. Like, I feel like if you have like a private account, you only have certain people and stuff. But I don't know. I just don't understand like people just posting babies for the world. I mean, it's all up to choice, of course. But it's just like, dude, people are just so fucking weird on the internet. And like, the internet doesn't deserve to be invited into our private life, bro.
Almost every Gen Alpha kid is on social media. It's their main form of communication with their friends and where they get the latest news. But their social media screen time is often unregulated by parents, so there's no telling what these Gen Alpha kids are watching.
It cannot be unregulated. It cannot be. Like, if you just letting a kid just be on the phone however long, they have no time restriction, they're gonna end up falling into some type of brain rot and just copying bad behaviors and shit.
On their devices, and that's the scary part. Although most social media platforms have age restrictions or content guidelines, kids can...
Yeah, but then kids just say, yes, I'm 18, like... Or is that easy? Or they just find out how to use their parents' emails and shit.
Easily bypass them just by lying about their age. And regardless if the platform is meant for younger audiences, anyone can break the rules by posting inappropriate...
Bro, this girl literally looks like 5 years old, bro. Why the hell she had a makeup...
appropriate content anyway. TikTok, the most popular platform for Gen Alpha, is a mishmash of all different sorts of content. The For You page throws a bunch of different videos together in an endless scroll, showing users the type of content that they like, as well as new content that they've never seen before. One of the most common trends that you can find on social media is thirst trapping. This form of content is meant to attract attention from viewers, usually in the form of posing, dancing, or acting seductively. Although the nature of this content is meant for a much older audience, there's a ton of kids participating in these trends without realizing...
Nigga, what the fuck are you doing? What is you doing, my nigga? Like,
its implications. It's become more and more common to see a Gen Alpha kid dressed up in revealing clothing, making thirst traps.
Gen Alpha kid thirst traps is just ruining my brain right now. Like, there's no way this is actually real, and there's no way it's not getting deleted.
Content, which in itself is already unsettling. But not to mention, there's no telling who's watching or saving this content online, which can leave them vulnerable to a certain audience that may have other intentions. With the influx of OF promotion...
That's why I said, bro, like, oh my god, it's so many fucking weirdos on the internet, bro. That's the worst part of everything, because a lot of kids and stuff, they probably just post this innocently. They just want to have fun and stuff, and they don't really understand the implications of posting online.
Adult content is becoming more accessible. With social media heavily influencing young people, it's become difficult for them to see the importance of real relationships. 1 in 4 children go outside to play nowadays, missing crucial social interactions. Most of Gen Alpha spends their time indoors consuming media meant for adults.
I got a hot take though. I feel like the world nowadays, especially like in big cities and stuff, I feel like the outside environment is not meant for kids to really play outside anymore. Unless you, like, you know what I'm saying, you live in an apartment complex and they have like the space or whatever, but just houses, like, there's just so many main streets and stuff, and it's not really walkable anymore. I feel like it's just a car life. It's just not fitting to just be regular, bro, if that makes sense.
Dopamine addictions from internet platforms like TikTok,
but obviously that depends on where you live, so
have resulted in negative effects on younger generations, as simple as enjoying their day-to-day life. Kids no longer have the patience for anything because they're so used to the instant gratification that social media provides them. Kids can't do simple everyday tasks like brushing their teeth, eating food, or using
if you're not brushing your teeth, nigga, you banned. Like, I'm not gonna smell your stinky breath. Now I will put that toothbrush in your mouth my damn self. Stinky breath ass, doodle breath ass nigga.
Restroom without the constant stimulation of a screen. Gen Alpha becomes impatient and frustrated at the drop of a hat, with even the smallest inconveniences getting blown out of proportion, turning into full tantrums or breakdowns. With most of their learning coming from the internet, they're
day one of saving my Gen Alpha skibbity cousin.
Being exposed to horrible behavior from those entitled influencers that they see online.
Oh, this shirt is cute, bro. Look at this. Pick me with the little bear. Why did I think that was Ted though for a second? I was like, wait, hold on. They should have the Ted bear. But I don't think
when you look at the biggest influencers now who flaunt their opulent lifestyles and endorse things like OnlyFans, are these really the people you want raising your children?
Now the question is Generation Alpha really doomed? I've talked a lot about the problem.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about, like, when he brought up the thirst traps and stuff, or right now with the influencers, how do you feel about influencers doing like girl content? I feel like it's a slippery slope because obviously most of the influencers doing it are like over the age of 18 and they do have like an older audience and stuff. But then, like, I feel like certain girl content goes too far. Like, I feel like if it's just more trolling or just like just doing regular content, but if they're doing like a whole bunch of sexual things and like just doing too much, I feel like that's a little too far, bro. Especially if you know you have a young audience.
Of Gen Alpha, but there are still many strengths that they have. have. Gen Alpha has access to more resources, knowledge, and tools than ever before. They're living in an exciting time, with technology advancing at such a rapid pace and them being so adaptable to it. If they're able to use the internet for good rather than bad, they can become some of the most intelligent people on the planet.
That's what I said, bro. I literally said that in the middle of the video when they said about like kids being more dumb nowadays. I feel like the technology is so advanced though, and we can use it as a positive. Like we can make these kids actually the smartest kids, and it's happening. It's happening. It's not like all kids are fucking dumb. I feel like the dumbness is highlighted. But really, I feel like there's a lot more well-off kids that are using technology to their advantage, bro.
They're also born with empathy inside them. The future can be bright for Gen Alpha.
Facts.
All they need is a little guidance and a push in the right direction. We
That's
as
what
people
I'm saying,
who
bro.
care.
Like literally, kids get born and they're a fresh slate, bro. It's all about how you raise them and how you have them do things, bro.
Monitor what our siblings are doing on social media, and as adults, we can teach our kids the value of hard work, and we can be better examples for them to follow. My friends, it's time to stop the internet from destroying this generation.
Yeah.
Visual Venture.
W Visual Venture.
Wait, before you go, make sure you guys click subscribe here, and then...
Oh, I'm already subscribed, bro. I'm already subscribed. You already know. But anyways, if you guys like that video, if you want me to react to other videos like this, make sure to comment down below other videos. And thank you guys for supporting, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.